The Association of Communication Scholars and Professionals of Nigeria are dedicated, or is dedicated rather, to promoting excellence in communication research and practice. As a community of scholars and professionals, ACSPN hosts an annual national conference to address contemporary communication issues and develop solutions. This year's conference will feature discussions on digital communication and governance in Africa, as well as international media research, with gathering of experts to bridge the gap between theory and practice. Joining us in the studio for this conversation is the Vice President, Southwest Association of Communication Scholars and Professionals of Nigeria, ACSPN. He is also the former Dean of Faculty of Communication and Media Studies, Lagos State University, Professor Rotimi Olatunji. Good morning.
Good morning.
It's good to have you join us.
Good morning, Pharaoh.
Now, let's begin with, as a nation, when you look at how we have evolved, talking about the digital age, the digital space, some will say that we came late into the party and all of it, but how well have we adapted and adopted to this new age?
Thank you once again, Veronica. I'm so glad that you're having me this morning.
Right.
The Association of Communication Scholars and Professionals of Nigeria, as you have rightly said, we have a mantra, the future is here.
That's right.
And digitization is that future that the forefathers of the association have seen over 12 years ago when we were established. And so, to go to your question, how well have we fared as a nation? There is a theory of communication that we call diffusion of information theory.
Yes.
Of course, the global community, in terms of advancement, talk about Western Europe, America, Eastern Europe, they tend to be ahead of us in the realm of digitization. But the African nations as a whole have also become players a very long time ago, in the sense that our scholars in Nigeria and outside the country have been involved in different aspects of digitization. You remember the professor, Meagulu, that was in the Ivory Valley and all of that in the US. Many of our scholars have been pioneers in the realms of digitization. However, on the African plane, we tend to be lagging behind in terms of catching up with digitization, but not so in scholarship. Scholars are abreast of development in the digital world, but we need to step this down to the communities of scholars in Nigeria and other practitioners. And that's why we need to bring about digitization in governance. Why are we talking about digitization governance? Many of our files in the past are in the records of filing cabinet and so on and so forth. We need to digitize all government processes. Why? We need to bring about what we call transparency in governance. With digitization, we can have a lot of transparency, increase efficiency in the way that we do our businesses, and so on and so forth. And so if we now step this down to governance, you will see that we can revolutionize our practices in scholarship, in government, in the private sector, and so on and so forth. I admit that Africa has not been doing enough in this realm, and that's why our association has come about to transform, bring about transformation in the realm of the way we do our things in Africa. So hence the theme of the conference, digitization and governance in Africa.
Very, very insightful. I've always wondered where we are, because when you mentioned diffusion of innovation, I think that's Everett, the actual
Rogers,
Everett,
yes.
Talking about the innovators, early adopters, early majority, late majority, and laggard. So I wonder where exactly Nigeria actually is in all of these stages, because if you look at, I know that in our station, a communication industry, channel, we are adopting different technologies and all of that. In fact, we are birthing something that will be to the surprise of the entire, Africa, some way, you know what I mean, really. So exactly do you think where we are at the moment? Right. Because now everything seems to be moving digital. Communication or even sending the news and all of that is right,
real time.
You understand? So exactly where we are we still laggards? Can we say we are still laggards?
Okay.
Or maybe late majority?
Thank you. I want to correlate with the example in broadcasting. You remember the Nigerian Television Authority and the need for digital broadcasting. You know, it has taken the government several years to begin to do digital broadcasting such that we were at the level of the analog broadcasting for very many years. The federal government has shifted again and again the commencement of digital broadcasting until very recently. And all thanks to the private sector and the private broadcasters or broadcasting organizations, they tend to be ahead, even that of the federal government, until recently when the federal government began to digitize all of their operations in different parts of the country. So talking about the stages of innovations and adoption that we could think, well, are we saying we are, late adopters, if not laggards, but we can leapfrog all these 5 stages of adoption because there's no rocket science in digitization. It's only the lack of will and commitment on the part of the authorities to, in terms of infuse fund to acquire the necessary digital equipment to power all sectors of communication. You remember the last but one minister of digital economy, I think Pantani, who was so dedicated to transforming all sectors of media transformation and all of that. But in terms of investment of fund, government may have done so much, but we are seeing so little of it. And that's why the maximization of the resources we have in the country could have helped us to do better in terms of transforming broadcasting, transforming media, transforming the economy, transforming broadcasting, transforming politics, governance, and so on and so forth. And we are calling on the government and the authorities to invest more funds in digitization so that we can leapfrog and also join the global players in all areas of the economy using digitization.
Right. Now, you said that your association have been in existence for 12 years, and I believe that this conference, this annual conference, has been on for that long as well. So I'm wondering how far your association have come with trying to bridge the gap. After having these kinds of conferences, you come up with a document or a paper. What's the level of engagement that you have with government to ensure that you push forward what you're trying to make the government see, such that we can bridge that gap? We keep narrowing the gap until we get the kind of results that we desire.
Thank you so much. The first conference was held at Babcock University in 2012. And this year's conference is going to be the 11th International Conference. You will see that progressively over the years, the academia stay in their ivory tower, the professionals stay in their professions. But ours is the first of its kind to fuse scholarship and practice of media and communications in all ramifications, such that we are not just isolating ourselves as scholars and the professionals are isolating themselves as professionals. We have come together for the past 12 years to see that we put programs on the table that erase the boundary, the artificial boundary that used to exist between scholarship and professionalism in communication. Now, to the issue of what we have done so far, a lot of programs had been anchored. One of the latest ones was that after a research grant from Ford Foundation, which was carried out by both the scholars and the professionals, we discovered that there was the issue of fake news that was rampant. as a result of the new media that has reshaped the practice of communication. And so with the grant, we were able to design communication programs in different languages, ethnic groups in Nigeria to ensure that we educate the citizens on the need to avoid or shun fake news and hate news in all our communications. Beyond that, we have identified year by year certain challenges as regards elections, as regards communication, as regards the economy, and all of that. And we put all of our agreements and policies together to influence federal government, state government in different areas, non-governmental organizations. We partner together to do campaigns on certain challenges in the society, shaping views, modifying policies, advocating change in different areas of the economy. And so this year's conference is also part of that bold attempt to ensure that we bring about a transformation in governance in all sectors of the African society, so that we can have increased efficiency and we can have better decision making on the part of those who are in governance, and then citizens' engagement in such a way that there will be no disconnect between those in government and those that are being ruled. So these are the kind of things that we continue to do every year.
So just give us an insight into this year's conference.
Oh, thank you so much. Like I said earlier on, the theme is digital communication and governance in Africa. A guru in digitization and the publisher of Premium Times, that's Mr. Dapo Olorunyomi, will give a keynote address on that theme. Again, we have a special session which we call a master class, and we are going to be having a professor from Russia, Professor Svetlana, who will also be talking about reimagining digitalization in governance in Africa. So apart from that, we have different other sections. But the governor of the Lagos State, that's Mr. Jide Sanwo-Olu, is going to declare that ceremony open, along with his Commissioner of Information and Strategy, Mr. Gbenga Omotosho. And we have a leading light, Professor Rafa Akinfeneye, who is going to be chairing that occasion. Beyond that, there are several syndicate sessions that will be looking at different aspects of digitization as they impact on scholarship, on governance, on the society, on politics, and so on and so forth. So we have people like Mr. Emeka Okpara, who is the Vice President of Airtel Africa, who is also coming to be a discussant, along with Professor Abigail Ogwesi and Rotimi Oladele of NLPR.
You can go on and on.
Yeah, please.
So I love the fact that you're connecting the town and the gown together.
Right.
But who are the target audience really? Who are those expected to attend? Is it just professionals or the academics or students or any other person? Maybe people like us.
And is it free?
Yeah. Okay, thank you so much. Like we have said, connecting the town and the gown. This conference is targeting, well, the scholars in the classroom, the professionals like you and my sister Veronica, other journalists, other media practitioners all over Nigeria and in Africa, those in non-governmental organizations, civil society groups,
right.
Government sector. We also have people in the business sector. You can see we are bringing in Airtel, Guinness, Nigerian PLC. They are
promotion.
coming. No,
so
all of them are
coming.
coming.
Their names.
Okay.
That's what we are trying to say.
Okay.
They have to pay for the airtime.
Okay. And it's not free.
Oh, okay.
It's not free. One, the participation fee is very friendly because of the need to integrate different.
So where can people get information?
It's on our website. Just ACSPN. Just go online, Google, and you have it pop up.
ACSPN.
Yes.
ACSPN.
Yes.
Okay, so just go there. You get all the information you need for registration and all of it. So when is it beginning? Quickly.
Okay. We had already started the mobilization for the past 9-10 months.
Okay.
But we are starting the conference on Wednesday, the 4th of September.
That's tomorrow.
Tomorrow. Yeah. And it goes on to Thursday, the 5th of September. and the closing ceremony is on that day, and we go and depart after that conference. Of course, there are also other highlights of the conference that will include the general annual general congress, where we are going to have election. It's also an election year for us, and we are going to. So the current president, Professor Maru Pate, is the vice chancellor of Federal University of Kashere. The secretary general is Professor Nosa Owen Ibien of the Caleb University vice chancellor.
So their tenure is over.
It's over. Right. So we're going to be having a change of guard, as it were. And so we're also extending corporate membership. So the TVC, there's provision for corporate membership that allows you to come in to attend our services and programs.
All right.
So I hope you join as a member.
All right. Do you respond to that?
Yeah, why not?
You can contest.
Yeah, well, only that you have not been a fee-paying member
all the while. Right.
So,
thank you.
We invite you to join us as members, corporate and individual.
Thank you so much, Professor Rotimi Olatunji, the Vice President, Southwest Association of Communication Scholars and Professionals of Nigeria, who is also the former Dean, Faculty of Communication and Media Studies, Lagos State University. Thank you so much.